Is the W140 S600/600 SEL Mercedes' next future collectible? In 1992, Mercedes released their first V12 model. While they had tried to start a V12 program before the war, the V12 program never materialized. When BMW announced that they were coming out with the V12 and people started to take Jaguar V12 seriously and continue to buy them, even though Jaguar reliability was basically a meme until the early 1990s, Mercedes realized they had to jump on board. So they developed the M120 engine and shoved it into the R129 and built the W140 S600/600 SEL, 600 SEC/CL600/S600 Coupe around this wonderful and extremely well-engineered motor, although some of you may not agree. I don't know where I sit on this one, but there are some fundamental issues with these engines that we're going to talk about and with these cars and whether or not they're going to be a future collectible. So I expect this to be hotly debated. Let's start with the pros. The pro is that this is Mercedes' first V12. This V12 engine, love it or hate it, is a legendary engine, went on to power the Pagani Zonda. It also was a great tuning basis for several AMG models and has achieved legendary status as basically an unbreakable motor with a forever crankshaft and a basically unkillable engine block. The problem with these engines is their head gaskets and their complex engine management electronics. This is one of the reasons that I tend to get cold feet about them. Engine wiring harnesses, and there's plenty of wiring on these engines, are slowly disappearing. And if you have a 95 or earlier M120 engine car, this is a real problem. Other parts, such as the throttle actuators, do need regular service. And because these are basically two M104 engines that are, I don't know, welded together. Well, not really, but you basically have two M104 engines that are sitting side by side. These engines are notoriously difficult to repair, meaning items like head gaskets are going to take hours and hours and hours of time nobody really has. Now, that doesn't mean that they are not resolvable. It just means that you have to have a lot of patience and a lot of desire. Moving away from the engine, the sumptuous and luxurious interior of the S600 and similar models was laden with wood and high quality velour carpet and lots of leather and a lot of neat amenities, but a lot of these are electronically based. A good example would be the automatic climate control push button unit. This complicated unit requires specialized service to repair. Now, I know there are a lot of companies that repair LCD screens and perform other functions for these cars, but when you compound this with a bunch of CAN bus systems and control units and difficult diagnostics, what do? I'm curious about what some of the other users who own these cars have faced and have dealt with, because I know that some of the issues are surmountable. One of my subscribers has a 97 S600, and recently the pump responsible for his automatic damping system had a sensor fail. This pump is no longer available from Mercedes and is not rebuildable, so his only option is a used pump. What do you do when the supply of used pumps runs out? Does somebody figure out how to rebuild them or not? If you're in the business of rebuilding 140 electronics and hydraulics, I'd love to hear from you, because I'd like to know how you're dealing with some of the unique problems. I'm sure if the demand for these cars is maintained as it is, there will be people stepping up to the plate to fix this stuff. So here's my question. Is the S600, 600 SEL, and the coupe versions of this car, are these versions future collectibles, and will they continue to appreciate, or are they too complicated? One of the reasons that we love the 6.3 so much and some of the 109 chassis is because everything can be repaired on them. These cars require a high degree of compatibility, of competence when working during service, and they also require a lot of laser focus on getting certain items like the air suspension and the injection pump to work right, but there's a mechanical solution to each problem. There's not a part on the car that performs a complex function that can't be rebuilt. On the other hand, with the S600, it seems like a lot of these units were sealed for life, however long that is. So I'd love to hear your opinions about these cars, and if you haven't already done so, please like, share, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. And if you're wondering if I'm ever going to be servicing the 140, the answer is still pretty much no. So don't get your hopes up or anything like that. But if you do have a 140 and you're maintaining it yourself, my hat goes off to you, because this is a daunting task and I recognize that. So big round of applause from the team at Pierre Hedary's. Thank you.